going to record to the cloud again. Welcome, everyone. Oh, Joel, you were about to say something.
I don't know if everyone here is kind of good actors, so perhaps we can just verify that before moving forward. Somehow, maybe ask everyone to put their videos on.
I'd rather avoid to do that for now. So given what just happened, so what I'll do, Joel, is I'll transfer hosts to Gagan, or actually back to you, Joel, because you were doing the presentation, and then we'll resume things. So I'll transfer the hosting to you, and I'm trying to not mess up. You're going to be the host now from now on, Joel, and then when you're done, if you can transfer that to Gagan, I think that's going to be amazing.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm the host now.
Yes, you are. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. This is the developer contributor meetup where we're going to talk about WordPress today.
Thanks for having us, Julian. And yeah. Okay, hi everyone. We're rtCamp, and I'm gonna speed run this. One thing I didn't mention before is we crossed 100 employees recently in our company. We're a WordPress only agency, and we have we're fully distributed. We're open source contributors. We have a bunch of open source projects and contributions to the last 22 or 23 major releases to WordPress, and we're fans of the open web. Okay, nothing more to say. So the objective of this project was to develop and deploy a brand new plugin, and this plugin that we developed is actually created from scratch, and it's distributed the same way through the WordPress plugin repository. It's created following the WordPress way, so created to be extensible and following WordPress standards. It's translation ready. The plugin code base structure is as you might expect. It works on multi-site, and it's also compatible with Gutenberg, which is actually the primary mechanism through which it works. And the idea of the plugin was to actually create something seamless for your users. So similar to a one-click login solution, something like login with Google or something like that. And as you all will see in the demo in a bit, it's quite seamless. You just have a single button, and through the Oauth implementation that Unlock protocol has, we're actually able to have it very seamlessly go through, verify, and then come back. It's quite smooth for the user. And also, as far as payment goes, it's quite smooth. So as we'll demo in a second. So yeah, I'm just gonna hand over to Gagan now, and then he'll walk you all through the plugin. Okay, over to you, Gagan, in a second.
I will need to stop you from sharing the screen, guys.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm just going to start with the login. Right now, I can log into my WordPress website without using the username password.
And that's because you previously, and if I'm correct, is that because you previously linked your WordPress account to your crypto wallet, right?
Yes, that is right. But even if I haven't, and I have registration enabled on my WordPress site, I will still be able to use that button, and my account will simply be created.
Yes.
So that's one more thing.
Absolutely, and that's one of the big improvements that we asked you all to work on is kind of try to have and succeed in having a mapping between WordPress accounts on the local WordPress website and crypto wallet addresses or accounts, which is what you have here.
Yep. So once you have enabled the plugin, you will have the option to simply add RPC endpoints for different networks that you want to enable on your website. So these endpoints will be used for fetching the information regarding whether the user has access to the particular content or not. And you can even customize the buttons as well. The checkout button or the login button, you can customize it, whether the text or you can add some background images or something like that. Once that is done, you can create a new post and add an unlock block and select the network that you want that uh, block to be in.
So here
And
you've previously deployed the lock on Rinkeby, so you're picking Rinkeby. That makes sense.
yes, so I was already logged into the unlock dashboard, and I had created a lock in Rinkeby network. So I'm just copy pasting that lock address here. Once you do that, you will be able to edit the content of this particular block. And I am copying some text from this side. Maybe add some images as well.
And here, what is really was really important, and one of the requirements is that basically you're using the default WordPress editor to do these things. So we really wanted to make it as native as possible to the WordPress ecosystem, so there is no, new things or unlock specific things to work on.
Yep. So whatever we are doing, it's based off of WordPress rather than doing any custom things or implementing anything that would require much more maintenance. We are simply reusing most of the code from WordPress. And let's publish it. So since I'm the author of this post and I'm the admin on the site and I'm logged in, I'm able to see this content. But let's say you open this particular page in an incognito window. You will get the option to connect your Web3 wallet so that you can view the content. I'm simply going to log myself out from here because I don't want to install MetaMask on an incognito window.
And maybe Gagan, if you can share the URL of the blog post so that people can try it on their own as well, because it's public, so it's anyone can try this.
Yeah, it is public, but you will need to have like HTTP auth, that is rtCamp,
okay.
that's the username, and good work is the password.
That's a good point.
So here I am, and instead of logging in with my main account, I am going to use some other account that do not have access to this particular content yet. So I have just changed my account here. And right now, Unlock is asking me to log in with this account too. So this account 2 was not present already on this particular site, and this new user was created based on the Ethereum address, the wallet address of that particular account. Now I still do not have access to the content because I haven't purchased the content yet, and right now I'm going to purchase it.
Oh, I think you need to click on the wallet, little wallet button. Yep, I know MetaMask is going to pop up.
Okay, I was like, why it's not popping up? Thanks for that.
And then so when the transaction gets mined, we're going to have to wait a little bit. Rinkeby has been, I mean, the time on Rinkeby has been varying widely over the last few days. I guess a lot of people are deploying code to test things, but hopefully you can click on the link. Oh, yeah, it's done now. So we don't even need to do that.
Yep. So right now I have purchased the membership to this particular content, and that is why this new account is able to view this content, and that's how it's implemented.
Perfect.
The
Yeah.
plugin. So it basically allows you to ease the buying and selling of these logs and use them for blocking the content on your WordPress website.
Absolutely. And again, like I mean, I love how these demos appear so simple because like, oh, that's it. Yes, that's it. And that's actually the crazy thing. Like we take something that is actually pretty hard, and make it really, really trivial and smooth. A lot of the, I mean, maybe Gagan is going to show us this now, but you can actually customize the button, but also what is shown behind the button when people need to connect their wallet or unlock the content, which I think are really useful useful patterns here. So yeah, he's going to show us how to do that.
Yes. So let's say the checkout button, you want to show like purchase this content and maybe have some sort of background image. I'm just going to use this blur image for testing.
Yeah. So you're just doing the image on the checkout button right now, not on the login button. So you would have to either connect with yet another account or set an image for the login button. Is that right?
Yep.
Perfect.
So you can customize this button from the backend settings as well. And for these image upload and setting the colors and all, we are using the WordPress default functionality. So when WordPress code changes, these functionalities will automatically change accordingly. And since we are not using any custom code for that, it is actually easier to maintain this plugin. And in case you want to contribute to the plugin, you can simply clone the repo from the GitHub and just write. So we are using Lando for local development. And once you write Lando start, when you are in the directory, it will automatically create a local development environment for you, even installing all the NPM packages. So yep, here's the site.
Nice.
So it's as easy as this.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So yeah, basically to summarize, I think so complete rewrite of the plugin. The first step that you implemented is the ability of basically linking crypto wallets through MetaMask in the example that you showed up, but I would work with, you know, Coinbase wallet or Wallet Connect with any mobile wallet that supports this. So users now have an account inside of the WordPress site so that we do server-side locking. So the idea is that the content is rendered in a way that is specific to each member based on their membership status. So if I log in and I'm not a member, then the page will render that, you know, a little button that prompts me to become a member. But if I'm already a member, it would render the full content. which is exactly what we wanted with this. So pretty excited to have shipped this. Much more solid approach to building the plugin that is perfectly integrated into WordPress. And for us, that was kind of the goal. Joel, I see you're back to be the host.
I'm just gonna wrap this up, Julian.
Absolutely.
If you don't mind. I just had a couple of points.
I'll stop sharing.
Yeah. And that's another thing I just want to emphasize, that like for any end user, any one of y'all who are considering this, or if y'all know someone who's potentially going to use this plugin, it actually works. The Gutenberg block that's placed into your content area, you can place anything within it. It's an empty block. It doesn't add any styling, any weight to the page. Whatever you place within it will be locked. Whatever's outside of it will be unlocked. It's quite simple to understand. You can have multiple locks on a page. That's something that we've done in case you ever need that. You can also have full page lock content. So you can dump all of your content within the unlock block, and everything will be locked on the page. The only thing that shows is the excerpt, which you probably want to set anyway. So anyway, the page is entered, anyway, it'll just show the excerpt and the title, and that's it. Everything else will be locked. Yeah, I see, Yongs, you have a question. I'll just come back to you. And then we have, and then I just had a couple of things in case any of y'all, this is something, because the way that the plugin works is that when you link your wallet, when you say login with undock, it'll actually create a WordPress user profile for you. And so if the setting is disabled on your website, which by default it is, if you set up a WordPress website from scratch, new users will not be allowed to register. So it'll actually show you an error in the backend, but just for your information, you need to do this. But I will say, if you already have a community, or if someone you know has a community with a bunch of users, you don't need to enable the setting. If you already have a workflow to add users, you can leave that as it is. Because all the existing users, like we mentioned before, can actually click on the connect your crypto wallet button, and their wallet will be added to their existing WordPress profile. So it's kind of yeah, so it works for them as well. So it'll work for your new users, it'll work for your existing users as well. Full page lock content. Yeah, and then this is the final thing I just wanted to say. So there are a lot of hooks built into the plugin. So again, if you're planning on customizing, writing some CSS here or there, just use the WordPress customizer, because it doesn't get wiped when your website updates. And also, if you want to do any PHP level stuff, if you want to use any of the hooks, the best way to do that is to create a child theme, which is very trivial to do. It's very simple. It's just a matter of creating a file in the right file structure, and WordPress handles the rest. But anything that you put in your child theme, all customizations will continue to work through updates. So yeah. Yongs, I think you had a question. I'm just going to ask you to unmute.
Yeah, so the question was, instead of just having it content locked on a per page basis, is there any opportunity to use some of the categorization capabilities, whether it's a category or a tag within WordPress, so that like the authors don't need to worry about adding that? Because I could definitely see from a scalability standpoint, the way that we're looking at using multi-site, that might be some opportunities to just make it easier from the user experience to have that more categorically.
So in the version, in the way that the plugin currently exists, that's not something that we've built into it. To answer your question in short.
I mean, indeed. Oh, that was not part of the requirement, but I think that's a great idea actually, and something that we should definitely work on. And the great thing about the plugin is open source, and one of the reasons why we wanted to work with rtCamp is because we wanted to kind of set it the WordPress way in some way, so we could more easily make improvements like that. So you know what, I'm definitely going to look at this next few days, next few weeks, because I think that actually is a great addition. I mean, I'm sure Gagan and Joel have already ideas on how to do that. Maybe I'll briefly ask them what's the best approach. But I can imagine a setting basically where you would go and say, hey, any post that has this tag or instead of this category should see its full content being locked basically. And I mean, again, not necessarily a WordPress expert myself, but I cannot imagine this being too complicated based on the work that they've done so far.
Yeah, that is possible, and it's easy thing to implement that as well.
Nice.
And also, we mentioned earlier that we could even show the logs that are created by the user, rather than someone having to go to the unlock dashboard and then copy pasting the logs. That too, we thought that,
Yes.
okay, we will implement it after the plugin is released.
Absolutely. No, I have a ton of ideas of stuff that we could do on top of this. I mean, allowing people to create locks from the plugin itself would actually be kind of massive. In the end, it's like you don't even need to know that there's an unlock dashboard, right? Like, say, hey, connect your crypto wallet, deploy your lock from the dashboard would actually be something that I think would be perfect. One of the other ideas that I've had would be to allow users to, create kind of a short code. I think that still exists, that would show the list of members somewhere. So all of the members list is public, it's on chain somewhere. And so you could definitely imagine a situation where on a page, basically, I would show, like, all of the icons, all of the people that are members of a specific site. And that's something the plugin could also easily begin. Everything is easy on paper, right? But it's definitely one of the plugin that one of the features that the plugin could eventually have, and could make things easy and smooth as well.
Yep.
Anybody else has questions? No?
Just, I mean, as somebody who's been working on and off in various ways with WordPress, literally since Mullenweg was 19, it was so easy and straightforward to get things up and running. It was straightforward, it was intuitive, and for sort of the first iteration of this new version of the plugin was super great. And rtCamp team, I thought you all did an amazing job. And yeah, it did things the way I pretty much expected it to, which is great.
And faster, should I say? Like I've been doing software for, since Matt Mullenweg was 19, actually, before that. And it's pretty rare to see people ship software faster. I'm definitely not one of these people, faster than what they initially commit to. And rtCamp did an amazing job on that. So obviously, if anyone has a WordPress need, I cannot recommend them enough on that front. Cool. Joel, if you want to give me back the host title, I don't know if it's the right way. So one thing that I think is really important here is when we thought about the plugin, we really thought like there's basically two aspects to this. There's the connect your wallet aspect, which is basically linking the Ethereum identity to the WordPress account in that scenario, and then the verifying that the account has the valid membership. And so really these two different things, I think every application is going to have to do that. Chris Kakase, who implemented this in Content Room, is doing that as well. So like one side you connect the wallet and you identify who the user is, and on the other side you check their credentials, basically their status, by checking if they're a member of something. And so right now connecting the wallet is not something that's trivial, believe it or not. Like in the Web3 ecosystem, it requires using front-end application, front-end capabilities by checking basically if there's an injected web3.ethereum value instead of the DOM, and it's not clean, and it's also not very future-proof, because if we move away from that model of having kind of Chrome extension or Firefox extensions being wallets to something where the wallet is actually on a third-party device, we're gonna have to change the paradigm. And so one thing that we worked on is this kind of Oauth Flow, which I'm gonna try to show you all how that works specifically. So I'm going to try to share my screen. I'm not sharing the right screen here. That's the option, share, desktop one, share, cool. So you're going to see all of that. Okay, well, actually, it was already loaded. So basically, we created this flow where you can open the checkout UI that Unlock provides, and you provide a client ID, which is a normal OpenID thing, and then a redirect URI, which is basically where the user is going to be sent. and ideally kind of a unique state string that will be used by the sending side to verify the user. So that's actually exactly what the WordPress plugin uses. It builds that URL, and then when the user clicks on connect your wallets, that's actually the URL that is being constructed, right? And here you can pass obviously any website. So you could do, apple.com, whatever that would work, and then pass a different URI for this to be happening. So actually, let's try this as if Apple were asking me to connect my wallet. And so we'll go ahead here. And so when I do this, we basically provide this little UI, and it's all client side here. There's no actual server side code running. It's just a static HTML file. I'd say, hey, the application wants to, apple.com wants to identify you and access your membership status. So basically, at that point, I would click allow. And we added this very important aspect, which is basically asking the user to sign a message. Because in the end, right now, if you think about the Web3 wallets, by default, they just expose the address, but don't actually prove that the address belongs to the user who's here. So you can imagine a hacker would be actually very easily spoof somebody else's address and claim that they are somebody that they don't have. But by signing the message, which is kind of a pretty normal message, like connecting my account to, oh, that's the old one. I see I have 2 notifications here. The one from Apple, oh, MetaMask, please show. Well, actually, let's try again. This makes sense. Yes, now MetaMask is going to pop up and say, hey, and it should say apple.com this time. Please, MetaMask. Yes, connect to my account. And so basically, by asking me to sign that sentence with my private key, we're able to, it's going to actually go pretty fast. So I'm going to sign this, and we're going to be able to redirect the user back to Apple. And you'll see that the redirect URL includes this kind of something like this, like gibberish. It's actually a base64 encoded string that does basically include the message that was signed, which is connecting my wallet to apple.com, along with the actual signature. And but I mean, let's actually try to see if I can decode that for you, so you'll see what that is. I'm going to just do this. Decode URI. Actually, it's base 60. So it's B2A, if I'm correct, to decode that. No, that was A to B. Obviously, I did this wrong. Every other time, I'm sure I copy everything. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Yes, so you see basically that it's a JSON object, JSON parse of, is that gonna work? I think so. No, damn it. Okay. So I'll just decode that whole. I assume you see my screen, but let me know if this is too small. I can make it maybe a bit bigger here. And now this is very big, so everybody will see it. Even people who were coding before when I was 19. So basically, I'm just gonna parse that base64. I mean, decode the base64 and then parse it, and you'll see that it basically includes the digest, which is basically the string that I'm signing. So connecting my account to apple.com, along with the signature, which is this S parameter. And that is actually using, it's truncated in the middle, but that is basically using Ethereum's signature pattern, which is called, if I'm correct, KCAC 256. And by decoding this string, I can recover, that's the name of this function, who is the signer, the actual address of the signer. And so that's what basically the plugin in the context of WordPress, but any application would use to identify the user. So basically, we send back the user to the sending application along with a pretty strong, pretty long, string that can be used to, again, identify who the user is in a way that is absolutely secure and safe. So there's no way anyone can cheat that. And if an application wanted to customize this, because you say, hey, fine, if I've stolen this thing, you could easily add some kind of timestamp in the sentence to verify that the signature is fresh, kind of avoiding replay attacks and the likes. So again, this is this is a completely new thing that we have shipped, not formally announced, but we're going to announce in the next few days. Because we think it's actually very powerful. If you think about a mobile native application, it would use this exact same flow, and then the mobile application can then identify who the user is, get their Ethereum address, and then use that to verify against the rtC endpoint whether they have a valid membership or not. Is there any question about that? feel free to raise your hands. And I'm going to stop sharing here. Is there any question about this? No?
I would like to add to that the
Yes.
state parameter that we passed, that is also useful for security.
Absolutely. The state parameter is also very useful. It allows the sending application to re-verify that the user that's coming back matches the one that this sent, basically. And so that's also a very good use of this for security purposes, for sure. Anybody else has questions on that front? So yeah, basically we're gonna announce this, write some documentation to make it really easy for anyone to use this. We do think that it's a powerful thing for the whole Ethereum ecosystem. You know, the login with Ethereum pattern that we're starting to see appear more and more. It's actually very similar to that one. We hope that eventually we can use the regular login with Ethereum and don't have to build this ourselves, but we're just so early in that ecosystem that it doesn't exist for now, and we really wanted to have this for the WordPress plugin. Cool. So I think that's a wrap. Anybody has more questions or anything? I would assume everybody's fine with this. So first, I owe you everyone an apology for what happened earlier with the people kind of hijacking the meeting. Obviously learning as I'm going here, and we'll make that better. I know Ember already has posted a bunch of recommendations on our team's Discord, so we're definitely going to look after this meeting. It has been recorded. We'll definitely strip out the bad parts and post this on our YouTube channel. We have our contributor meetup every third Wednesday of the month, so we look forward to seeing you all. And if you're looking at this kind of a bit later, in January and then February and more. We're really excited about that WordPress plugin. We'll, again, the rtCamp team made an amazing work at laying down the foundation of what can, I think, be eventually one of the most useful plugins in the WordPress ecosystem to allow any content creator to monetize their work on their own terms. And with that, I want to really thank Joel and Gagan for joining us today and congratulate them again for the amazing work that they've done. And I will see everyone online. Thank you for showing up today. Chat soon.